Hi, today I've got the big pleasure and honor to interview Anna Kopp, who is a CIO at Microsoft in Germany. Anna has been voted one of the most inspiring women leaders over 40 in Germany. And today Anna is going to talk about trust and about the power of authenticity. Enjoy the interview. Hi, Anna. It's really great to have you here.
Thank you. It's great to be here too. Thank you very much.
And I'm actually very honored to have one of the most inspiring women in Germany, over 40. This is quite an amazing recognition that you have received. And so I'm very honored to have you here and to be able also to share your message to the world through these inspiring leaders interviews.
Yes, I have to admit now, if they do this again, it's going to have to be in the category 50 over 50, because I'm 50 years old now. I was 49 at the time, but it's still an honor to get that award and be chosen as one of the most inspiring leaders in the German market.
You are a CIO at Microsoft in Germany.
Yeah.
And I am very curious. I would like to hear, what do you really stand for?
It's a question I got many times, what were my targets? What do I stand for? What's my brand? And so on. And being a woman in technology changed a lot of that, because in the end, this happens a lot. Here's Anna, she's our female CIO. Was actually, I'm CIO. You don't have to say that female, because I'm doing my job. I'm good at that. And I think that's one important thing to point out today when it comes to leaders. If you're a great leader, that should not really matter. But we're still really chasing female leaders in IT and technology and other industry areas. The most important thing that I really stand for that has developed is the modern work, digital transformation, and the flexibility of the workplace that we need today. And one of the reasons is I feel like work shouldn't be everything. Work is something nice, something we do because it's fun and because we have to. But it should also, just be a part of the life you have. I think you can be a good leader and a great leader. You are probably a better leader if you have more in life than just work. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So family, hobbies, having fun, doing sports, taking care of yourself. And digital transformation lately is helping us be more efficient so that we can combine family and work. And that's the key topic that I talk the most about.
Yes, I can imagine. I can imagine also that for many organizations, including probably Microsoft, this might not be very easy to accept, considering that there is organizations usually have a strong focus on results, and achieving results would mean work as much as you can. So how did you manage to get this message across in your organization that actually having a more balanced life is actually okay for your organization?
It starts with the whole company culture. And there is one word I need to mention here, which is trust. There used to be a time we came to the office and we needed to be punctual and do our work, and we sat at our desk, and when you left earlier, people, you were scared if you would leave 1 hour early. People go, do you have a part-time job? Or not cool to do that nowadays. And we were measured more on the attendance. So if you were at your space or not, whereas the conversation that we shifted at Microsoft, and this happened almost 10 years ago now, and that I've been propagating very heavily within my organization and with anyone that's prepared to listen, including hundreds of customers that I talk to, trust. And trust means that the conversation is not about being attending at work and punctual. It's about what you deliver, which means shifting the conversation between manager as a leader and your team to talk about the results, and just trust them that they want to reach these results just as much as you do. And this is why trust is the most important thing, a work culture of trust. if I have someone that is really over delivering and doing a great job, do I care if they are at their desk at 9 o'clock in the morning? No, I don't. I care about people being self-motivated, driven, and wanting those results, and having that conversation. We're a company, this is what we need to deliver. How do you feel you can contribute? How do you want to contribute? What do you want to work on this week, this month, this quarter? And if you talk about that and then trust that they actually go and want to do those things. And here's the thing, to get a job at Microsoft, you usually need like 6 interviews. Why should you go through all of that to get a great job at Microsoft just to not do your job and possibly even lose that job? Of course, shouldn't happen. But we get people that want to do their job and want to come and do well. And then we talk about what they deliver and not when and how and where, because I hire great people. That's why trust is the most important thing.
Yeah, I'm totally with you on that. And building that trust is really not easy. It really requires a lot from in terms of leadership, in terms of creating the conditions for trusting the people, yeah, the employees, and also for the employees to trust the leaders, the top management.
Definitely. And the way I did that is, there's something that we talk about a lot, which is the culture of failure. Are you allowed to fail, or are you in a culture where failure is a no-go and you would hide your mistakes? And I established that, many years ago when I first led a team, and saying, if you make a mistake or something goes wrong, come and tell me, and we'll solve it together. Because the worst thing for a leader is if people are scared to admit, oh, that didn't go too well. What can we learn from it, and how can we fix it together very quickly? And if you are 100% always behind this, so that, if someone does something that wasn't right or is not going well, if they're not scared to talk to you, you catch it much earlier. The worst thing is if something goes wrong and you don't know about it, it blows up always at the wrong time. So establishing that and saying, you can always come to me, we'll solve it together. It's not a problem. If you make a mistake, something goes wrong, hey, I'll help you. I'll be there for you. That's how I established that trust with the team I was leading at that time. Mm-hmm. And a lot of companies are starting to talk about that. What's our culture, and are you allowed to fail fast, stand up? All right, get going, continue what you need to do. There's nothing worse than this coming too late rather than too early.
Yes, I can imagine that now all of this pandemic has also been affecting the way you've been working, the way employees work at Microsoft in Germany. I can imagine that there are still many people who are working from home. And so I think that there are a couple of aspects which are connected with that. One is trust, of course. Yes. Trusting people, or how do you trust people who are working from home? But also on the other side, how do you maintain this emotional connection to the company when people are actually not physically at work? Is this something that is relevant at Microsoft in Germany, and how are you dealing with it?
Definitely. And it's something that there's a lot of solutions out there that many companies are doing now, and trying to have like coffee check-ins that anyone can call in, blind dating. I think one of the most difficult ones is new hires. Imagine that we just this month had 93 new people starting. And throughout the pandemic, we didn't stop hiring. But how do you first day at work is something we had to work through. How do you give them they need a Microsoft PC and a phone and all the equipment they need. There's a lot of things that needs doing just to get going, and then start learning, getting to know your manager and your team and the brand and your company. And you have a badge now with your name and the Microsoft logo on it. And it starts already there with having a very smooth process. This is something that's very technological and process driven. But then it's something that we took our managers by the hand and make sure that they know what to do, how to build that connection with the company. And There's a lot of training offerings and coaching and attending those big launches and meetings that happen in the US and then go and broadcast across the world. Another thing that's important very early on is when we're talking about work styles and how to do that, you cannot always attend everything. So sometimes you might need to listen to a recording. When you conduct a meeting, you have to act differently, because some people are not going to be able to ask questions in that call because they're listening to it tonight. They're in the Asia Pacific time zone. So you have to do a lot of things. I can talk for hours about that. Do things differently, schedule things differently. And here comes another topic in transparency. Mm-hmm. And I call it a culture of okay. It's okay to decline a meeting because you're family. It's okay to attend from the car. It's okay to start early. It's okay to start late. It's okay to leave early. It's okay to leave late, as long as you have transparency of what is happening when and where. Is this an online meeting? Is this an attendance meeting where you have to get in the office? And always creating a lot of extra transparency, including your own work style. If I'm the manager and I have employees, they need to know my work style. When can they reach me? I'll give you one example is when I go to the office, if I need to be there for a 9 o'clock meeting, I need 1 hour because of traffic. Mm-hmm. If I aim for 9:15, 15 minutes later only, I need 25 minutes. So my transparency is, hey, no 9 o'clock meetings in person in the office, rather 9:15, 9:30, then I'll be able to use my morning time better and not sit for an hour in the commute. And everyone knows this. Mm-hmm. So if I have transparency when I work and my employees work, someone has children, comes early, someone is single and usually comes in late because he goes to the gym in the morning, it's all okay as long as you know. Mm-hmm. Transparency. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes. So transparency, which requires also knowing that it is okay, that you're not afraid of feeling judged if you say, let's do 9:15 instead of 9. And it's also about establishing clear agreements.
Yes, exactly that. And not being judged, I think is a very nice way of putting it. Thank you, because I think that used to be the culture when we stayed longer than we needed because we were scared if people would say something, if, oh, she's leaving earlier again. But people, it's okay today. So you're not judged when you say, picking up my kids, I'll be online later tonight. It's okay. And you are no longer judged. You never hear that, saying in our offices. Mm-hmm. And this is something that companies and leaders can establish this from the top, this culture of okay, mm-hmm. which means reducing fear.
Yes, exactly. Creating that psychological safety that is really key for all of this. And for all the impact that has. When you have psychological safety, there's so much more that is possible that wouldn't be possible otherwise, as we know.
Yeah, and think about it. Someone that works under fear and pressure versus someone that feels safe and loves their job and loves their boss and the team and having fun, who's going to deliver better results and who's going to service your customer better? It's the person that has fun and you really notice that I feel safe, I can do this, and hey, we'll solve this, and we're working together, teamwork, great coaching for the manager. There's still a lot of pressure and fear, in some companies today where, the big revenue targets are weighing on them and, you have to hit this, but I'm seeing a trend, and I love talking to customers saying, we're doing this too, and it works. And we're seeing our employee satisfaction grow. And here's my last point on that is, if you have happy employees that stay longer, you're saving money as a company, because you get the best people coming to you and you get the best people want to work for you for a long time. And if you don't, the best people are going to go to another company that does deliver this, because they can pick and choose. So in the end, having happy employees is a business decision, plain and simple.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I really love the way you have put it very clearly. And at the same time, I find that there are still so many leaders who find it really hard. Actually, they really resist. They don't like to hear this at all. How would you help them to really recognize that this does make sense when employees feel safe, when they're happy, that they actually contribute to the business success, or to an increased business success?
It's not easy for sure, but number one, try it out. Maybe just small steps.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to check if everyone's at their desk or online at 9 o'clock every morning when they're working from home. Another thing that what we have done and I have done with my teams is to have, when you're having those one-on-one conversations, is to ask your employees to create a one-pager and really talk about what would make you feel safe and valued. What's your work style? Because, for example, if someone's scared of coming in late, but they're actually a bit more of a not such a morning person, and they do the great work at night, and there's a lot of people, night owls, that do programming and do great work when they're at their most fit. Yeah. You know, explain your work style. When are you the most productive? And if you would find that out from someone, your view of them and how to coach them and let them go and do their thing probably changes, because you have this on paper contract. Okay, this is how you work. Go and work, but then these are the results I expect from you. Mm-hmm. This is the what and the how. And if you agree on that upfront very clearly, rather than just, yeah, it kind of works itself out how I am as a manager and how you are it's transparency again. Mm-hmm. And this clarity at the beginning, the what and the how, is going to help both sides. Because mm-hmm. if it doesn't go well, you can take that out and you can go, okay, where are we? Mm-hmm. And you can do that in small steps.
I love that. And also what you're sharing here, it makes me think of a partnership. It's like having the manager and the employee who are actually aware, open to understand and meet each other's needs. So, for example, as you were saying, an employee might be really much more productive at night and may have a need to work at night, also because he or she is more productive. But then also meeting the needs of the manager wants a certain kind of results. And in that sense, it's like creating that partnership, creating the conditions so that both can have what they need.
Yes, and here is where often, as I'm located in Germany, the law pops up and says, you have to make sure you still stick to the working hours. Just because mm-hmm. you're working late evening, or if you have children, you put them to bed and say between 8 and 10, I'm going to finish my presentation. Currently, the law doesn't quite know how to handle that when it mm-hmm. comes to working hours. But here we come back to the transparency and the work style of, okay, if you work till 10 because you chose to, mm-hmm. Because your child had a birthday or whatever, and just finish this later, leave early, well, then you don't come in the next day until maybe 10 or 11, and would mm-hmm. come in, could be virtually or in the office. And then, in my opinion, no one should bat an eyelid, especially not the colleagues and not the manager, saying, where were you? Because you probably had a good reason, and you have your work style, and you have that contract, the what and the how, and it falls within those frames. So it all really connects in the end with those principles.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Anna. I mean, what you've been sharing is so valuable, and I'm sure it's very, very useful also for so many leaders. So I'm so happy to have had you here. And there is so much more that I would love to hear from you. But hopefully we might have another opportunity. Is there maybe just a final word or a final suggestion, a final advice that you would like to share with the world, with leaders or employees, with organizations? What is it that you would really like people to know and to be aware of?
Thank you for having me. It's been great getting my thoughts out, and here's my final thoughts and famous last words. Authenticity. Moving into the future, what the skills are that we need to be successful, and as a person, I think, be yourself. we need people out there. We have robotics and artificial intelligence and IoT, all those technological solutions moving into the workspace more and more, and co-partnering with us as human beings. But the one thing is to be human and be authentic and be yourself. And if more people would have the courage to do that, I think a lot of workplaces would look a lot different.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Anna. It's been a great pleasure and honor for me to have you here.
Thank you. It was an honor too, and a lot of fun talking to you. Thank you so much, Myriam.